Hey, Michaela. So, slope formula is just where we find the slope of the line, and we're going to subtract the y's over the x's to do that. So, let me pull this problem over and put that into my drawing program so that we can see what we have here. All right, so this says use the slope formula to find the slope. So, slope of the line is what we're doing. Slope formula is where you say y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And then whatever the result is going to be your slope, right? Remember when we find slope of the line? That's what we're doing here, only this time we're using points to find the slope of the line. So I'm going to say that this is point number 1 and this is point number 2. It doesn't matter which one you pick, you're going to get the same answer. So this is my x and this is my y. This is my x and this is my y. So if this is point 1, then this is x1 and this is y1. And if this is point 2, then this is x2 and y2. Okay, does that make sense? So now we're going to take x1, and we're going to say that goes in the bottom. X1 is -4, and we subtract. And then we're going to take y1, that goes in the top, that's -7, and we subtract. Now we're going to take x2, which is a -8, put it in the bottom, and y2, which is a -3, and put it in the top, right? So x goes on the bottom and y goes on the top. So remember, when you have a negative, we have minus a negative, that becomes a positive. So this is going to be -7 plus 3 over -4 plus 8. So when we do that calculation, I get -4 on top and +4 on the bottom. -4 divided by +4 is -1. So that would be your slope for this first problem. Does that make sense? Whichever point you use, it does not matter as long as you keep the point together. So if you look very closely, we just took this point and turned it sideways. Here's the x and here's the y. We took this point and turned it sideways. Here's the x and here's the y. This point is together and this point is together. Point 1, point 2. So point 1 minus point 2, and it doesn't matter which one you do is which. Let me show you. If I were to decide to make them different, if I want to do, this is point number 2 and this is point number 1, then this would be x2, y2, and this would be x1, y1. So then I could say -3 over -8 minus, and then x2, y2, that would be a -7 and a -4, right? So then when I calculate my slope, I have -3 plus 7, and I have -8 plus 4. So then I would get a +4 over a -4, which is still equal to -1. So it doesn't matter which one you choose for point 1 or which one you choose for point 2, as long as you put that with your x and your y here, you'll know which one is which and where to put it in your slope formula. Let's do one more just to make sure we have it. So here's another one. Let's pull it over so we can practice that. Okay, so let's just use the first one for point 1. This is number 1, and this is number 2. So that means this is going to be x1, y1, and this is going to be x2, y2. So remember your slope formula. You have y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And that is going to equal, let me find this, I made my line too long there. That's going to equal your slope. So when I do this, my y1 is 7 and my x1 is 4. We subtract. My y2 is a negative 12 and my x2 is a negative 14. So I fix that. A negative negative is a positive. So it's going to be 7 plus 12 over 4 plus 14. So that's going to be 19 over 18. And we can't reduce this. We could make it a mixed number, but algebra hates mixed numbers. So we leave it just like that. And that is our slope for that problem. Okay, that's all we're doing is we're finding the slope of the line. So what this means is that this line goes from one point and it goes up 19 spaces, and then it goes over 18 spaces, and then that's the slope of the line. That's what that is. Okay? All right. Let me look and see if you need any other help. Okay, you seem to be finding the distance between points quite well. It was only this one that you were struggling with. So remember to identify which point is 1 and which point is 2. And if you just make a little note to say, well, this is x1, y1, x2, y2, then you can drop them into the formula and then solve it like you normally would. All right, that's all I have for now, and I will see you on Thursday.